Hey guys, today I'm going to be talking about Season 3 of A Discovery of Witches. So, before I head into my thoughts and my feels for Season 3 of A Discovery of Witches, I guess a quick disclaimer, I'm probably going to have some spoilers in here that they are probably going to pop up throughout the video. Because it's the third and final season of this show, and I think it's going to be difficult to even talk about it and review it without going into some spoilers, I'm thinking. So yeah, if you are not caught up with The Discovery of Witches, whether that's the final season or just the whole show in general, yeah, stay clear. Come back at a later point once you finish the show. So yeah, let's get going. So, how did I feel about Season 3? I really enjoyed it. I really liked it. I wouldn't say it's my favorite season. It would probably come in second, to be quite honest. I absolutely loved Season 2, you guys. I don't know if it's because of the fact that it took place in Elizabethan England, and I love history and historical fiction and whatnot, and I just really latched on to Season 2, but yeah, Season 2 remains my favorite season, but I probably would put Season 3 in second, and then Season 1 in third, I think. Not that it's a bad season, you know, don't get me wrong, just because it's in third, not that Season 1 is a bad season, but yeah, I did have some rough patches with Season 1, because sometimes I felt like Season 1 was just really melodramatic and kind of badly written in places, and sometimes even badly acted. And yeah, I felt like Season 2 was a vast improvement with like the acting and the writing, and then yeah, Season 3 definitely was a lot more consistent to kind of how I felt about Season 2, I suppose. So yeah, Season 3. What's going on in Season 3? Obviously, if you've seen the show, you know, but I'll just kind of do a quick recap, I guess. Season 3, it pretty much opens Diana and Matthew. They are returning from their time in Elizabethan London, only to be greeted with tragedy. Yeah, guys. Because obviously, if you watch the end of Season 2, Emily, unfortunately, was destroyed, killed, murdered by Peter Knox. So Matthew and Diana, they return to tragedy and heartbreak, and they are still on the hunt for the Book of Life and whatnot, because the Book of Life holds the key to the origins of the supernatural, the key to their future, pretty much. So that's pretty much the whole season, which has kind of been the whole thing of every season, pretty much, is the search for the Book of Life, and you know, trying to restore balance and order to the world of the supernatural. I like that the show just kind of opened and started just immediately, because we didn't get anything with Diana and Matthew, you know, how they even returned back to the modern day, you know, it just opened, there they are back in the present day. I really like that it just quickly went right into that, because I don't think it was needed for us to get, okay, how did they get from there to there, you know, I don't think we really needed that. It was fine, you know, I got it, you know. And we also find out that Diana is pregnant. No, we knew that at the end of Season 2, right? Yeah, we knew that at the end of Season 2. But what we learn is that she's pregnant with twins. Ooh. So there's kind of this constant thing of kind of lingering in the background. Okay, are these kids, are they going to be vampires? Are they going to be witches? Are they going to be some sort of weird, crazy hybrid that they're going to be hunted down for the rest of their lives? Are they going to have any sort of magical abilities? What is their future, essentially? And you guys, we only got 7 episodes this season. I'm a little devastated about that, because I almost feel like we could have had at least one more episode in there. Because I felt like everything was going along quite nicely. I think there was a really nice pace to a lot of stuff. But the last couple episodes in particular, they were moving at a pretty rushed pace, I felt like, at times, and I felt like there was a lot crammed into those final couple episodes that I almost felt like they could have been drawn out a tiny bit more to allow the viewer and even the characters to breathe a little bit. Because it did. The ending felt very rushed to some degree, and almost a little anticlimactic. I don't know if it was just me. Even though I still liked the final couple episodes, it's like it left me really wanting more, and I wasn't really ready to leave this world yet. It's like I still had questions. I felt like I still had questions that never entirely got answered. Like, for instance, the twins, because the twins do get born like halfway through the season, which I was kind of surprised about, because I thought they wouldn't get born until like the last episode. I don't know why. Like, I still had so many questions about the twins. Like, okay, what are they? Are they a hybrid of like witch and vampire? You know, which I guess we're sort of led to believe that they are. And I mean, yeah, the show has always been about Matthew and Diana. And that's how it ends, you know, it's about Matthew and Diana. But yeah, it's like I still just had so many questions about the twins, and I kept thinking to myself, okay, I need like a spin-off that takes place 20 years in the future and follows these kids and what their abilities and powers are and what they're capable of. That would seriously make for an awesome spin-off, you guys. I need it. And I know Deborah Harkness has the books, and I'm kind of hoping maybe she'll write a series of books about the twins. That would be pretty great if she did, because I think there's so much to explore there. A lot of potential. What I do think the show definitely excelled at this season, it definitely gave you a great sense of urgency and purpose and danger, because they're all of the characters are looking for the book of life, and it seems like the stakes are definitely raised because of the fact that Diana has the twins and whatnot. There is an urgency and purpose there, like, okay, we need to find this book. It can't fall into enemy hands, because they will just absolutely destroy the world of the supernatural and whatnot when we're trying to restore it and bring back order. And yeah, there's also the whole thing with blood rage. They're trying to figure out the origins of blood rage, if it can be cured, because Matthew is just absolutely terrified that the twins are going to have the blood rage, and it's not going to be good, it's not going to be pretty, you know. And that's another thing. I felt like, because we did get, I guess, answers to blood rage, you know, in those final episodes. There was an answer to that, but I still felt a little confused about it. I still felt mildly a little confused about it. Like, were they still going to try and get a cure for it? Did it even matter at the end of the day if there was a cure for it, you know? I'm still a little mildly confused about blood rage, because I felt like that was really rapidly rushed through, and it, like a lot of stuff in the final episode, even that kind of felt anticlimactic, like, oh, okay. And let me tell you, this season in particular was very heavily focused on, like, commentary, social commentary, I guess. Like, even within the world of the supernatural, there's, like, prejudice and racism of a sort, I guess, is how you would kind of compare it, you know. But I really liked that commentary, how it was set up in this show, because it's always been made very clear and apparent that the vampires are the elite. They are on the top of the food chain. They are the ones who make the laws and order, and they have a say. They have the majority say, almost, like, okay, this is how things are going to happen and why. We don't care about the rest of you. Vampires are great. Ha ha ha. So it's always been apparent that the vampires are the elite, you know, the very top elite. And they really look down on everybody else. And then it's always been apparent that the witches are kind of right there in the middle. And then, yeah, the demons way, way at the bottom. That there is a lot of hatred and prejudice towards the demons in particular. So I really liked all that commentary this season. I think it really worked. I do feel like the very last episode, it was very heavy-handed. Let me put it that way. It was very incredibly heavy-handed, just with all the speech-making going on between some of the characters. Very, very heavy-handed. I don't know if it particularly needed to be as heavy-handed as it was. I mean, we the audience, we are not stupid. You know, we are not stupid. We understand all the prejudice that is going on between the witches and vampires and demons. You know, it's always been apparent since season 1. We get it. I don't think we had to have as many speeches as there were at the end. Because it did. It almost kind of felt like, oh, you the viewer, have you been following along? We feel like you've not been following along. But I still appreciated the commentary, because you can it's very, very comparable to just human society, human nature, you know, with racism and prejudice and whatnot, and those who are on the top and those who are on the bottom, you know. So I did. The commentary, it worked, like I said, even though it was very, very heavy-handed in that final episode. And it's like, the way the show ends, you get a sense that things are possibly on the mend, you know. Things aren't miraculously fixed. There's a lot of change that has to happen, and shifting of balance and power, essentially, you know. And I got that, you know, I definitely got that. It's not going to be a miraculous, hey, the very next day, everything's fixed, everyone's happy. And once again, this is why I definitely would love a spin-off, either a series or some books, whoever does it first. Whether there's a show or Deborah Harkness does it, it'd probably be Deborah Harkness most likely. I would love just a spin-off, just focusing, jump ahead 20 years. How has the world changed, you know, within the supernatural community? Because it's like, you definitely get the idea. There will definitely be those who are in disagreement, those who are not happy, you know. I would love to see kind of where this world is like 20 years from now, and if things are getting better or not. So just moving on to some of the character related stuff, I obviously continue to really love Matthew and Diana this season. As individual characters, they're great. I continue to love their romance. I think the one thing I was mildly upset with in regards to Diana and Matthew, was it just me? I felt like they hardly had any screen time together this season. It felt really weird. Considering they are a core couple, I feel like they didn't spend that much time together, because Matthew spent a couple episodes in Louisiana. The two of them were separated for like 2 episodes. So it was just a little odd to me, considering they are the heart and core of this show. Their romance, you know, their two worlds coming together is what's changing this world, you know. It did seem weird that they were kind of separated sometimes, or just they didn't share as much screen time as I was kind of anticipating. We also got a casting change for the character of Baldwin, and I was a little worried about the casting change, because I'm always worried whenever there's casting changes in shows and movies and whatnot. It's like, okay, is this gonna work or not work? But yeah, Baldwin did get a casting change, and it worked. I loved it. If anything, I actually really liked this guy. And yeah, Baldwin definitely had an extended role in this season, a much more important role. And yeah, I definitely really enjoyed how his character was kind of functioning throughout this season. It's like, is he on their side? Is he not on their side? You know? So I loved kind of that balance with him. There's also returning characters, especially characters that we were introduced to back in season 2, that just make an appearance all of a sudden in season 3, which I loved. I guess if you're a book reader, it wasn't new to you, but for me, I was like, ooh, I loved the return of Gallowglass, you guys. Oh my god. I mildly do remember Gallowglass from season 2. I don't remember a lot of the details with him in season 2. But oh boy, did I love Gallowglass in season 3. And his unrequited love for Diana. You guys, it's so tragic and heartbreaking. Oh my god. I was kind of shipping him and Diana. I was like, oh boy, if Matthew dies by the end of this season, because seriously, I thought Matthew was gonna die, you guys. Like I said, I've not read the books at all, so I seriously thought Matthew was gonna die. So I was then thinking, well, if he does, Gallowglass is there at least. But I did. Oh boy, I loved Gallowglass this season. I loved the return of Jack. You guys, that was totally unexpected. I just was not expecting that at all, that Jack was going to pop back up as a vampire, that Father Hubbard, right? I just was not expecting that reveal and whatnot with him returning, because last time we saw him he was a little boy in Elizabethan London, and he was played by Toby Regbo. Yes, I love Toby Regbo, you guys. I loved him in Rain, I loved him in The Last Kingdom, he was in Medici for a few episodes. So I was super excited to see Toby Regbo on Discovery of Witches. I didn't even know he was coming on this show, let alone he was going to be Jack of all people, so that was a pleasant surprise watching this season. And then we also have the return of Benjamin, who is our primary antagonist, if you will. I'm honestly not quite sure who the primary antagonist was supposed to be this season. I felt like this season had way too many villains. I don't know if it was just me, because we had Benjamin, who we last time saw in Elizabethan England, obviously. We had Benjamin, we also had Peter Knox, and then Jabert and whatnot. Plus Satu. I almost forgot about Satu. I felt like there were just way too many villains to kind of sit and wrap up, because even all of the villains, as we were kind of going one by one with each of the villains this season, I felt like a lot of that is very anticlimactic. It's like Benjamin, I did really like him being introduced back into the equation and where he was going, his whole vendetta, but his death when Diana, shot the bow and arrow thingy or whatever, magic, when she shot him, killed him, I was expecting that to be much more wild and crazy, but he just crumbles into ash like super fast, super quick, and I was kind of like, wait, what? But then even Satu, the thing about Satu, I love just that dichotomy between Satu and Diana, because they're both witches. They should both be on the same side together rather than be enemies. But yes, Satu represents the dark and Diana represents the light, and it's like in another world, in another universe, the two of them could have been the best of friends, possibly, instead of enemies, because it's like the two of them, they want a better world, but it's like their differences and their opinions, it's like they can't get them to meet, but I was really frustrated with Satu's end, because I was fully expecting Satu to have just a rapid turnaround and become an ally and whatnot, so I was really upset when she still just remained a villain by the end. That was a little frustrating, and I actually felt a lot of pity and sympathy for her at the end when Diana stripped her of her magical abilities. I was like, oh boy, that just seemed aggressively cruel to me. Did anybody else feel that way? I just felt like it was aggressively cruel and almost unneeded to do that to Satu. I mean, I understand why Diana did it, but at the same time, it's like, oof. And then Peter Knox, once again, as I said with a lot of the villains this season, even Peter Knox's ending felt rather anticlimactic. I love that Sarah was the one who took him out. That was badass. It was great. I loved it, especially after what he did to Emily. It was much deserved. But yeah, again, almost anticlimactic. He kind of crumbles into dust too and just is scattered wherever and is kind of like, that's it. And then Jabert was a character, I was like, okay, he's either going to live or die. I'm not quite sure about him. I liked kind of the conclusion there, that he was, when, they had the whole council meeting there at the end, and they nominate Agatha as the new, leader of their group and whatnot. I really liked kind of his conclusion there, that it's like he has to accept this, he has to. What can he do? But yeah, I like that whole thing there with him. And once again, just touching back on the anticlimactic nature of the final episode or so, I just felt like the whole ending, once again, I don't know if it was just me, I feel like a lot of things were just a little too neatly tied up, That's what I was saying. I feel like I would have appreciated another episode to the season to just kind of stretch things out a tiny bit more and give a much more satisfactory conclusion to certain things, because things did feel very, very neatly tied up. I was expecting a lot more characters to die. I don't know if I don't know if it's because of Game of Thrones. Let me blame Game of Thrones, because I'm so used to Game of Thrones when I was watching it, just every damn episode, you were sometimes losing a character or multiple characters in some episodes. I don't know if Game of Thrones has messed me up mentally, because whenever I'm watching shows, I'm expecting a million freaking characters to die. So I was kind of expecting the same thing with the Discovery of Witches, because I kept thinking, oh my god, Matthew's gonna die, Baldwin's gonna die, Sarah's gonna die, Gallo Glass is gonna sacrifice himself for Diana and die. Seriously, I had a whole lineup of every character that I thought was gonna die by the end of the season, and then I was almost a little disappointed. No major character died, other than like Emily at the start of the season, and then someone like Peter Knox, and Benjamin, obviously. Those were like obvious ones. But yeah, just other characters. I was kind of like, oh, no one died. Okay. But I guess that's okay. It's nice to know that all these characters continue to live. So, in general, you guys, I did really enjoy this particular season. It was a nice conclusion, despite some stuff feeling a little too neatly wrapped up, a little anticlimactic in places. It was still a really good season, I felt like, and I definitely I appreciated it. I appreciated just the story going on, what it had to say. I did. I love the characters. I love Marcus. I love Phoebe. Every damn character. I love every single character on this show. I don't particularly hate or dislike anybody, to be quite honest. And I'm definitely sad that it's over, but I'm very excited to get into the books. At the time of filming this particular video, you guys, I have yet to get into the books, but I'm definitely planning on getting right into them immediately. I hope I enjoy the books. I'm kind of hoping and expecting that the books will kind of extend some of the world building and maybe answer some lingering questions and whatnot that I have about this world, because I feel like the show sometimes was lacking a bit of that world building that I was kind of desperately craving and needing. So I'm hoping the books will kind of fill in some of those gaps, because I'm sure they will. So you guys, that is it for my thoughts and my feelings on season 3 of A Discovery of Witches. You guys, have you guys seen this final season, the whole show? What did you think about it? How did you feel? I was personally pretty satisfied with it. I'm very curious, if you're a book reader, how did you feel? Because I almost have a feeling book readers have a different opinion than me, someone who has yet to read the books, So yeah, just let me know the things that you in particular loved or hated about the season. I would definitely love to have a conversation with you. Feel free to go into all the different types of spoilers. Yeah, if I made some sort of mistake, like I said, I've not read the books. If I made any sort of mistake or error in this video, just let me know. So yeah, guys, that's it for this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you like this video, you might like these other videos. Bye, guys.